Second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. New business. Consent. Motion and second, any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Approve resolution 23-4 FY 23 supplemental budget.
I sent you guys this in your, board packet. We will need to supplement the budget, 115,000 into the capital building project fund, and that was for the, architecture fees for the building project. And that's a little padded in case there's any bills that come in that are unexpected. And then 2,500 into the WSD fund. Currently, we are under budget, but only by like $50. So in case there are any end of the year bills that come in, we will have a little bit of a budget supplement to cover those.
Motion and second, any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Approve surplus items for
So let's go off the top. It would be approved and impact date transfer. What's next?
what? Oh, yeah.
We're on number 10.
That's what,
Does it?
yeah, mine says that.
Okay. I'm sorry, I have an old agenda. Let's go with that. Sorry, guys. You will all have a list of surplus items on with your stack of documents. I think there's some computers and computers, an office camera, just some damaged and old items that Mrs. Trask would like to surplus.
Motion and second, more discussion on surplus items. On favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Passes. Okay, now left.
Okay, sorry, I had an old one with notes that hold on, so I'm sorry, guys. The next is that the impact fee transfer? Okay, oh, we're good. Okay, I did tell you a different amount in the email. We actually only do have to transfer 160,000. We deficit spent out of our general fund, taking the revenue minus the expenditures by about 650,000. And that's why I said a $700,000 transfer. Well, I didn't account for in that calculation for fund balance in the general fund we already have of over like 548,000. So that being said, good news, we only have to do fund transfer of a fund transfer of 160,000 from impact aid into general.
One second, any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Now we're gonna approve the FY 23 capital outlay transfer.
And that's the 115,000 from capital outlay into the capital outlay building project fund. And that's just what we talked about earlier with the budget supplement as well.
And then second, any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Any open forum? No.
Yes, I do. I'd like to thank you for your 12 years of dedication to the Wall School District.
Honor to serve and hopefully help. And that's it. Meeting adjourned for me.
Okay, I call this meeting to order. Okay, I call this meeting to order. I'll start out by the board member oath of office for Terry Moore and Rich Campbell. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Right now? Yep, raise your right hand. What you accept, right? Okay, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of South Dakota, that you will faithfully and impartially perform your duties as a member of the school board of the Wall School District 61-5, Pennington County, South Dakota, to the best of your ability and in accordance with the laws now in effect and hereafter to be enacted during your continuance in said office and until your successor is elected to qualify.
I use all to swear.
Yep, all right, you will sign this and I will. Yeah. All right, thank you. Okay, election of the board chairman. Do we have a recommendation for the board chairman?
I nominate Wayne. Second that.
Like to nominate. Okay. I'll second that. Okay. All right, we'll go in. Any other further recommendation? Okay, we'll go ahead and vote. All in favor of Elaine Simons, raise your right hand. Okay, no, you can't vote twice. Okay, all in favor of Ridge Sandal? All right, thank you. Elaine Simons, congratulations. All right, do I continue on?
So I think last time you left your chair. So you'll swap. Don't switch your rule. You get to be friends with Terry now.
There you go.
Oh, have a brief. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, there we go. A little awkward for a moment, but. Okay, I will turn the chairperson over to you for like two.
All right, I guess I will take nominations for vice president.
That's Rich Sandal.
Oh, yeah, any more nominations? All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Okay, congratulations, Liz.
Keep the same seat.
We'll move on to committee assignments. Does anybody have any committees that they want to be on or move to?
Budget negotiations and insurance.
I'll take that one.
Money goes on that last time.
You want to stay? Anybody else? Okay, Carolyn?
Yeah, do you guys all want to stay where you are, or do you want to move, or?
Well, we have,
So typically we have.
If that's what we
we have
want.
three for-
Yeah. Elaine was on that. She said she wanted to be on it, though.
okay, I have on the budget negotiations and insurance, I have Elaine, Carolyn,
Or
Corey. Okay,
Are you staying on that one, Corey?
okay. The next one is buildings, grounds, and transportation. Terry, Josh, and Hope. Okay,
Don't know how that works. I do believe we can vote on that.
I guess we need to ask who wants to be on it.
If we have four, we have two.
no, it'll be one, sorry. Okay, so I have Terry, Josh, Hope, and Rick, and Corey.
Yeah,
Were you already on it?
I was.
Well, you can stay there.
Yeah, I guess like that's the one for me that I maybe would rather not us switch up, just do some
Okay,
knowledge over last year kind of deal. I'm good with that, I guess. So that
so
would
you got two of them that are staying the same.
Well, Terry wanted to be on that committee too,
Yeah, so I got Terry, Josh, and Rick.
and Corey.
Corey wants to.
Yeah, but okay, so you need to vote.
Yeah. Josh and Rick can carry on.
Okay, Terry, Josh, and Rick. Okay, so, and then on curriculum, I have Hope and, okay,
Yep, I'll stay on that one.
Elaine. Curriculum, instruction and technology.
Does anybody want to take my spot on that one? I'm happy doing it. Somebody's itching.
Well, we can go on to the next one. It was Elaine, Hope, and Ridge for that one, and the legislation policy and strategic plan. Same three.
I wouldn't mind staying on the curriculum, instruction, and technology unless somebody else wants to run against me for that one. Anybody?
There's plenty of jobs. So Ridge, I'll put Ridge down, back down. Correct.
I was on the list.
Ridge was on three.
I was on the,
There was one night he had several meetings. Okay, we'll go on to legislation, policy, and strategic planning.
I'll stay on.
Elaine. Hope, Corey. And let's see, career development, scholarship, and marketing. Terry, Josh, Carolyn. Okay. Or what did I end up with?
career development scholarship, marketing. Everyone, Josh.
Here.
Okay. No.
Yeah.
Oh, they're just a
This time.
appointment, yeah.
Move on to number 6, approve resolution 24-10, official entities for 23.4 and central south.
Did you want me to go over the changes on that, Elaine?
Yeah.
The things that were changed from last year is the property liability insurance agent. We changed to Hub and EMC. That's the company that now has our, property and liability insurance. I increased the, mileage for board mileage as well as, employee mileage to 51 cents a mile rather than the 42 cents a mile to match the state mileage rate. And then 23 cents to 28 cents a mile if there's a school vehicle available. And we've always in the past adopted the same state rates for mileage as what the state has. So that's why I increased that. And then as well as lodging for in-state lodging from 55 to 75 to match the state rates for that as well. And then for lunch prices and breakfast prices, I updated that to be what they were for last school year. And Tim, you have the wrong one.
I have the wrong one.
I don't know what you have. That's not the right one. It's $4.25 for adult and visitor. Students K through 5 is $3, 6 through 12 is $3.25, and reduced is 40 cents. For breakfast, adult visitor is $2.50. Students is $2, and then the reduced rate is $3. We, with the National School Lunch Program, they, when we do the application, they tell us if we have to raise our lunch prices or not. And that hasn't been done yet. It's usually done in August or July, end of July or August. So there is a potential we would have to raise that again, but that's what it was last year. So those were the changes that were.
I make a motion to approve.
All those for any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Number 7, approve resolution 24-2, workers' compensation fund adoption.
That was sent out in your board packet as well. That's just the work comp agreements that we have to approve. And
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 24-2. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Number 8, resolution 24-3, workers' compensation participation agreement. Make a motion to approve resolution. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Number 9, approve builders risk policy.
did anybody from the buildings and grounds committee, I sent that out to you to make a recommendation to the full board. If you would like to have a builder's risk policy for our building project. It was just a little back, it's $4,410 for the project in total, covered up to 3.5 million. Like property damage, theft, vandalism, weather, that kind of stuff. And it, yep, the actual policy, I did put it on your staff of papers, but
I believe we have to have this.
we don't have to have it, but it's highly recommended. Yeah. I think
Yeah, well, I think $4,500 we for sure should do it. That's my recommendation.
that your motion.
Make a motion. I make a motion to approve this risk policy.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Passes. Number 10, appoint business manager, board members, health insurance board.
I make a motion. Oh, is there discussion?
Well, usually, Yes, I usually attend those meetings because I'm the one that, does all the HR stuff for the school, so it's important for me to be there for, insurance purposes, obviously. And ever since I've been here, Carolyn has joined me as the board member, so what your motion would be is if you wish to have that stay the same, is to appoint myself and Carolyn to the health insurance board.
I make a motion to appoint our business manager, Amy, and board member Carolyn to the health insurance board.
I think you have to go for the city board. No, okay, that's.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Number 12, approves National Association of Federal Impacted Schools. Membership. Oh, sorry. Number 11, approve Associated School Boards of South Dakota membership.
Second.
Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Number 12.
I make a motion to approve.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Approve Impact Schools of South Dakota membership. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
All right, perfect.
Wow.
Okay,
1 minute, 20.
we have to wait a minute. Amy, where do I find it? Did I have? What? Budget. Or in the, I didn't, for here. You don't want to put it out there. We can, it was in the board packet. Oh, no, then okay. Wait a minute. Does the board have any questions? So just a little, we will approve a final budget in September. We will set levies in September. We will want to probably have a budget committee. So start thinking about that and I'll bring it up again. Any comments from the crowd? Any comments on the? Okay. Okay. In a moment, everything's covered. No, I only brought 2 letter openers, sorry guys. Okay, so you gotta be slow for me, that's the paper. What do we got, Sally? Just the name and the amount.
The name, Wayne and Gwen Davis, $600.
Go 676.
Betty Darwin Hare, a check for $580.50.
Five,
$580.50.
Here, $580.20.
Trevor Anderson, $402. Kevin Bielmeyer, or Kevin and Jody Bielmeyer, $222.22.
223.22.
Yep. Barry and Nikki Moore, $333.
So, $450.
Tommy Taylor and Taylor Monin, $433.
I'm sorry, 433.
Yes.
Melanie Hendricks, $686.
And 686.59.
Dennis and Sarah Sharp, $432.50. Ryan and Amanda Kerstad, $463.50.
Crown Oil. $405.
Conrad and Callie Kerstad, $400. Jem and Kelly Kerstad, $602.
602.
Yes.
Got, Jason and Amy Paulson, 127.
127.
127.
There's an Amy Bissett, $383.
Oh, shoot. You might mess it up on mine. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Okay, Stacy and Dean Schultz, 427.53.
Brent. Go ahead.
That's a Eworth, bid $500.
Brennan Lori Kerstad, $480.
Oh, no.
Harlan and Lori Walker, 567.97.
Okay.
Patty Kerstad, $1,000.
Okay, Chad and Alicia Walker, 567.98.
Kimberly Tanner Hancock, 712.34.
Okay, Brett Glazius, 592.
No, I just have text.
Okay, Jana Spielmeyer, 663.99.
663.
663.99. Okay, Mary Williams Ranch, 560.50.
50.
Yep. Marvin Boats, 185.50. So I've got Bertie Schultz at 450, but his handwriting isn't real.
450.
Yeah, you might have to call him and find out.
Let me see.
Him, Carl Baum's $350. Charlene Kerstead, 480. Scott and Sue Krells, 525. Ron Dingers, 451.
Well, there's 37 bids, so it's 37.
Pat Paulson, 230. And Annie Joe Spotted Bear, $500. Let me look, make sure we.
See if we have any stuff.
I think we do have Walkers and Leisha and Chad. Rock, paper, scissors to.
Okay, so we have, Brent with the worst and the scholars are both this contract. And there's two that is 450. So.
Oh, is that the only check you have?
You wanna write Eworth and,
Are you doing doubles? Or
yeah,
doesn't it matter, right? There was a double.
oh, yep, Brennan and Charlene. That's funny. Yeah, okay, Eworth and who's? Spotted Bear.
Are there better, are there better seats than not?
Yeah, some people like to get towards the middle. Some people at the end, they want to be on this end of the parking lot. Cause it's
Oh, so
closer to
they
the
get
concession.
the highest price gets the first choice?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. All right, then we have Brennan and Charlene. Check, do you wanna do Branch Electric and
Do
Bertie
you want to
Schultz?
draw this one, Rachel? I just thought I'd
Either way, somebody better know spot six.
It is Charlene.
Alright. Okay, any more ties?
Yeah, one more. Brand Electric and
And Bertie. You got that one?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, how did we do this?
Do this draw.
that what you did too?
Your origami is fast.
Well, I had to tear the slips of
It
paper.
has nice touches.
Yeah, well, we're done. There we go. Not classy, but
All right. With that, moving on to 16, presentation of first steps.
okay, Jeremy, which one would you like me to?
Start with the schedule.
No? That works?
Yeah.
There we go.
Evening, everyone. It's Jeremy Altman. Bob Conway, your contractor slash construction manager, Census Apologies, be here tonight, but he has a schedule that's up on the screen here. You'll see his schedule says 100% drawings Monday, August 28th. I think we can beat that. I think we can get that done sooner than that. And that'll affect the rest of the schedule. But go faster. Tonight, the purpose is to give you an idea of where we are with the project and to ask for approval to go into the last phase of design, which really starts to delve into the details. I'll give you a snapshot of the design to date. But basically, we're finishing up design development and moving into the construction document phase. The next phase, we'll be getting into a lot of detailed questions, such as where we move that Eagle statue. That's where what kind of lock functions do we want on each of the doors? Very nitty-gritty type details. A lot of the big picture things are done, but we'll be delving into really specific things in the next phase. So, according to his schedule, which I think we can beat again, you'd have a final price to look at mid-September and a groundbreaking shortly thereafter. Our goal after talking to Pandy is to try to coincide that groundbreaking with the first day of school, which was September 5th. Assuming we move forward. But then you can see they had construction beginning late September and finishing up in August of 2024.
And the reason, I looked at the 18th of September on the Washington DC. That's why.
It'd be nice to do that. Any questions on the schedule? Okay, let's close that one, please.
Okay,
Thank you for running my presentation.
all right, which one would you like?
Let's go to the adjusted estimate right below that. This is the contractor's opinion of the cost of construction to date. It's his best guess where prices would come in using non-competitive numbers right now. And you go down to the bottom, 3.6. And that includes $107,000 in contingency, which if not used would come back to you, but it's there so that you don't have to put in any more funds to cover such unexpected things like groundwater that we didn't anticipate to hit when we start digging for foundations. They might have to pump it out so that they pour the concrete, or if there's a utility line that wasn't on any plans that we encountered when we start to dig. Thankfully, we're not touching much of the existing building, so there shouldn't be too many unknowns. So that contingency, I don't want to promise anything, but I'd be shocked if you ended up using all of it. And any that you don't use will come back. When they do go for hard numbers, the contractor will put together a bunch of bid packages that basically align to the line items in his estimate. So when his hard numbers come in, we'll be able to compare his estimates where actual numbers come in and see how good everything was. Any questions on contractor's estimate?
So does that final for the number of
Our fees would be, no, they're not. Yeah. But all the contractor's fees, all the parts of the building that the contractor is supplying is in that number. It wouldn't have such things as the lockers that the school. That's any of the equipment shops.
Have a document?
Yes, please. Let's go to right below it, all CTV. Everyone will get to see it. I think we have to open public and then put together a bid tab, which is basically the summary, figure out who was the lowest, make sure that they're qualified, and then the contract will put together what the assumed total is, and then just go through his due diligence to make sure all the, like, for example, if one bidder came in and it's unusually low, you may contact them and say, did you forget something as a courtesy? And make sure that all the bids are legitimate. And then I believe that has to be public. So you'll get a summary, and then also those will be opened probably here. Since the initial first blush estimate that the contractor did, I believe it was about 3.9. We've been working with him and with the building committee to trim it down as much as possible, but keep all the vital elements. So in this view, if you remember, I know it's been a little while, but we have reduced some of the elements on the outside of the building. There was an architectural element that kind of, we were calling an eyebrow around the shop there that we eliminated to save some money. The precast walls remain, however, we eliminated the form liner, which would have given it some texture. We're still going to have a different type of texture, but it's going to be similar to what you have now. A sandblasted and an exposed aggregate texture instead of a more three-dimensional form liner texture. And that's saving us some money. I think it will still look very nice. It'll still harmonize with the existing building. We're just trying to get that number down to where it needs to be while still providing a good looking building. We reduced the size of the metal roof. It's slightly smaller than it was, and we also reduced the size of the overhang so there's less metal soffits. Still have all the protection that is required, but architects especially will like to see nice shadows. It looks nice. Don't need as much as we had before, so that is reduced. We'll have to go to the next image.
This one?
Yep. This is just a view from the other side showing the two garage doors and the approach to the welding and the ag shop. We'll still have some reveals in the precast. Not a lot has changed, but we've been working to trim anything that we could, but still keep the main parts of the project. One thing we will do with approval moving forward is we will update the rendering with a more color, lifelike rendering so that you get an idea of what it looks like. Okay. Yep. You go to the top one, please. This document's kind of large, so maybe it takes a little while. This represents the combined sheets of all the disciplines. We're at 64 sheets. Civil engineers, architects, structural engineers, mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, all their drawings. I'm not gonna go through all of them. If you want to show you the site plan, if we're able, and
Oh,
maybe it's too big.
okay, let me try it. Yeah. Didn't want to,
I'll just try to open it in Word.
okay, is that the problem? Okay, what would you like me to?
Open.
Okay,
There we go. Let's put down a few pages.
okay,
This is the civil engineer site plan.
oh,
Stand a little bit closer so I can point things out.
it's good?
Everyone's fit decently enough. So this is the existing building. Well, the existing shop is right here. This is where we're tying on to. So he is just showing the outline of the building for the civil engineer's purposes. Outside of the building, we've got, the sidewalk leading to the new entry. We'll have some new handicap spots here. Down here is the entry to the gym. This light gray area is the extent of new asphalt. We'll be extending a curb and gutter from where it was out to the corner of our building. Around the building, we'll have rock mulch, and this area will be seeded. This area will be seeded. These are area inlets. And the existing downspouts will be tying into those, and the stormwater will be run around the building out to that ditch. Here's more concrete in front of the building. This exit door, since the grade starts to slope away from our building, these are indicating an ADA ramp there. So as we go to the west, the grade starts to slope away. So anyone exiting out of this exit only door, that's not for anybody to really come in. They'll have to go down that ramp first. So any of these marks here are a ramp. These are the approach and the overhead doors with a generous space to back in to the welding shop. Where we tie into the existing, they'll be replacing the gravel. And we still have to find a spot for that eagle statue, but it's still kind of a work in progress. But they're fairly well along, all disciplines. I don't see any issue getting to that date a little bit early. I will point out as well that the propane tank for the science rooms will remain in place and undisturbed. Questions on the site plan? Okay. Let's go down to the floor plan. It'll be a sheet 410.
All right,
In the right direction.
okay, I'm kind of slow. Okay,
After, there we go.
is that, I can't see the, back up a little bit,
There we go.
there, oh, okay.
There. So, this is the floor plan. To reorient you, here's the corner of the existing building that we're tying into. Here's the corridor that we are extending into our building. Some changes that we have undertaken since last time to also help reduce costs, plus we brought the number of plumbing fixtures in the restrooms down to only the code minimum. If you'll recall, before we had two extra fixtures in the men's and women's, and it was almost out to this corner. But we reduced that number and moved that wall back a little bit in order to save on the plumbing fixture costs. Still think that that'll alleviate any of the pressure that there was for lining up at the existing toilets, but not incur more cost than. In addition, we eliminated a wall between the welding storage and the welding shop. Gives a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more ease to move and store things in that shop. But other changes were fairly minor, like the lockers will be something that the shop class provides, might be one of their projects. We eliminated on the mezzanine level, there is a mezzanine above this storage area, which provides further storage. On that level, we had a short stair going up to a rooftop access. Those stairs we eliminated. That could also be a shop project, or you could use a ladder to reach that door. Those are most of the major changes that we did since design development. Are there any questions about the floor plan or any of those changes? Yes, yeah, there is.
Two in the men's, two in the women's.
Right, there's a unisex private restroom right here adjacent to the janitor's spot.
So by eliminating that stairs we talked about, what would you see that be used?
They still have a full stairs up to the mezzanine. On the mezzanine, there was a short stair up to a door that led to the roof. So that short stair is not there. But there still will be a stair up to the mezzanine.
With regards to that.
You need approval to go on to the next step.
Yes.
Ask for a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passed.
Yeah.
Need to be in touch.
Okay, this will be the final reading on his policies. Okay, student organizations. This takes out, the changes are in red, or the deletions are recommended from the committee. Parts to remove are the red, parts to add are in yellow. This is a new policy we haven't had before. If there's a new student organization come in here, they come directly to the board and due process is removed.
Motion.
I'll make a motion to approve. I'll make them. Okay. Make a motion to approve, regulation IGDA -R parentheses 1, student organizations, limited open forum equal access.
Who was the second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Reporting child abuse.
I added in green what, Dr. Krauser mentioned when I passed, last month you asked her during the meeting what she thought, so I sent on this document and Mr. Sikora's, justification. And so I put her recommendation in the green, which includes but not limited to. The committee's recommending that, all the 10 pieces are removed. This, yellow piece is, what's new or, was added by the committee. Here's the prior policy. Referring back to Mr. Sikora's, justification, I agree that we should not, I recommend not removing those 10 points.
Can I visit? I'd like to state a couple things too. Because educators are in front line seeing the students, we're called to be mandatory reporters. And as mandatory reporters, I think it's important that all of those bullets or all those items be put up there, because mandatory reporters typically or generally are reluctant to turn to report stuff like, abuse. And if there's any gray area or any uncertainty, then I'm afraid that somebody's going to be afraid or won't think to report the abuse. I think that the bullets there are clear cut, and I think that they I read through them and I hadn't seen anything that would make anything confusing to people reading the policy. I don't think that adding those makes the policy so long that somebody's not going to read it. So I'd like the minutes to show that I recommend the board accept the policy as written by associated school boards. Specifically, I want them to include the 10 bullet points that is in the sample that they sent.
Meeting for a shorter, but I guess I do not work here. If the recommendations we have are strongly in favor of having the additional bullet points.
Can I add something? To kind of go with what Chuck said, it seems that topics such as child abuse can have so many different definitions within each of our mindsets. And so that's why I suggested that we have that, because I get where you guys are coming from, but also it doesn't limit us to those, but it also helps define what child abuse is. And I think that is a guideline that is nice to have for your guys' sake, for our sake, because of the way people can misconstrue what child abuse is.
I would just comment on my side, so and my job to enforce ordinances for the city, and I prefer to have the ordinances to be clear and cut, and not some great things. I understand what they're saying, they want more clarity. Is there to do the ordinance? That would be.
And I going back to when Adrian Peterson when he was playing for the Vikings and he abused his son. And his son had welts and bruises and cuts from the discipline that he put forth. There were people who said that that's how people in the South were raised and that's that's what they know. And that we shouldn't be telling people how to parent their child. And I think if we have a staff person who hears of something, he or she might decide, well, that's how the parent chooses the parent. And if it's specifically written in the policy, there's no gray area. This says it's, this action belongs here. This is where I need to report.
When we talk about the most, because we see both sides of it, it just sometimes, and I get what you're saying 100%, that's why this was difficult to discuss. It's also hard sometimes for people to, I don't know, sometimes when things are written out so clearly, loopholes are easier to find.
So as a board, are you able to support a decision made by one of us if it's very vague? That's,
I would say that's a good point.
Yeah.
Because I would rather have it in here saying staff member feels that child is being abused. They go to your administrator and your administrator says, staff, let's report it, rather than list out dates. That's where I see it. I again go back to what we thought is kind of like Cole said, list it out. Okay, well, it wasn't listed in.
Has anybody seen an incident that they can come up with a scenario that doesn't fit with one of those 10?
No, but I mean, I guess glancing at one and some going back here a while, yeah, but let's look at 7. So who has sustained emotional? Okay, it's a tough one to define. So I bring this to you. You said, Rich, what's the evidence of sustained emotional harm? Don't know. I thought the kid was being abused, but do you have evidence of sustained emotional harm?
That's not our job.
And that's what we were thinking in committee is keep it short and simple, gives you guys more freedom here. If that's not how you see it, add the 10 points and I will support it. But I mean, after all this discussion, it's evident that that's not how everybody else does. But that's in our minds, I believe what we saw. But again, we don't need to, in my mind, discuss it any longer if that's how everybody feels. So add the 10. Add the 10.
You want to keep that in? You want to keep that?
I think the green piece covers us also in the aspect that you're trying to push toward, or not push toward, but
And yeah, we start getting so much in. Nothing. Still leaves. That's good. Still leaves. Where? That fall into this.
See, and that's my point. You're gonna have stuff that don't fall into it, supply list help. Just say if it's abuse, it's abuse. And in my feeling, you have a teacher sitting in that room every day. They know when it's abuse.
yes.
Pictures too, that it's a more different world, I think, now than when we were in school, obviously, but where some of these younger this again goes, I go back and forth on this because they don't know. You know, so they feel like maybe they should report something that may help them. My other side of this is also what some younger teachers may view as emotional harm to a teenager is a bullheaded teenager that a parent is just trying to
Yeah.
keep on the straight and narrow. And so you're gonna walk fine lines there, I think, either way. And I think that's where we have to have trust in our administration and our guidance council and our team here to help navigate.
Use some common sense.
And then this last piece is what was added as a recommendation or from Associated School Boards that wasn't on our prior policy. This is what we have right now.
So the bottom will be removed.
The bottom will be removed. I put it in there so for your reference.
If you decide to keep.
Tomorrow when I put all these together, I'm gonna clear this all up.
That's what I'm saying. If they vote to keep the 10, then that goes away.
It's gonna go away either way. It's already repeated. It's already right in here. I just put this down here so that you can refer to what we currently have and compare it to what we are looking at now. This, I mean, I can get rid of it now. I think we call it. Yeah, that's, here, I'll change it right in front of you if you want. Now, you want to keep this piece that's new? I mean, it's mandatory reporting anyway, it's just stating that on there. It's not going on.
That's,
And it's protecting. Okay, so I will take the highlighted and this will be what it looks like in the, yeah. With the updates on the dates. And I'll put it in a PDF form and send it out to you like the last one before they go on the website. Not 100% comfortable with it, but I guess but sometimes it's not just us. If you look here, you know, when was the last time this was updated? 2007. How many superintendents have you been through? I mean, Chuck was here.
Something else we have to remember, we're only reporters. They take it from there and I say they, DSS and do the investigation.
What else do we have? Oh, sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve district policy JHG, reporting child abuse.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. And motion passes.
Okay, this one, is a new policy. We do not have it in our, it is policy JFGA, law enforcement and Department of Social Services student interviews. The red is highlighted to remove on the SRO or student resource officer. Law enforcement, this sentence taken out and then added the department, DDS and CPS personnel to interview the child. The student parent guardians received permission before the student is to be interviewed. Should attempt to, this is the student victim or witness, should attempt to, if possible, to contact the parent guardian. Take those out so that the building principal will contact and before discussion so it is a normal practice for us to contact parents before anyone's interviewed. An event related to the school. Remove those pieces, and again, the SRO comes. The student will be given the option of being represented by an administrator and or school guidance counselor will be present during the interview with the student. That's a new piece. I make a motion to GFGA.
PTS.
That's what I'm wondering in my own mind.
Yes, that's the part DSS, it should be,
Okay,
and then CPS, child protection.
okay. Oh, yep. That's what I was kind of wondering when I was there, and I was like, no, it's not. Yeah. So. Well, I know, I was. Okay. Anything else?
A motion, we have a second. Okay, we have a second. Any other discussions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Okay. And this, oh, hey, this is another part of the policy IGDA. This is new policy again, and I'm just looking at this. We took student out, but I think student has to stay in. They're student initiated. Now because of that. Elaine, what was?
I was thinking we already passed. this
Well,
one.
I took it out because there might have been. For the number one example. Church groups or stuff, civic groups that maybe weren't student led. Issues. Just thought we'd probably have to have it.
Can I recommend putting the red over that too? Okay. Okay. It's the second part to the other one. I just went in order of what I have listed here. It's the second part of this one, and I think that was in there in alignment with what this is. Questions? Anything you want me to?
Motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve. Policy proposal IGDA, student organizations.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. For 18, second reading, 6 through 12.
Okay, This was taken out because it's repetitious to another area below. Or recommended removal. Okay, yeah. Smarter balance, change to South Dakota State Assessment. And then, this 5th day of absence each semester. Lose his or her privileges. You don't know.
No, it wasn't regular absences. It should have been regular absences.
Okay.
I don't know if that was.
After
Oh,
they
well, that-
miss 5 days of school and school activities are exempt.
So like a doctor's appointment.
Those are exempt.
No, an absence is an absent, unless it has a, well, it's so hard to say because it was so different from one year to the next, but a doctor's note, if you have if you have a note from your healthcare provider, it doesn't count against the absence. This is what the handbooks used to say. I don't know.
I think so.
Well, it should be,
Well,
it was an absence without a healthcare provider's slip that's what when I got here, and that's what we were supposed to enforce is to, didn't matter if it was excused or not, if it was, because the parent will call in saying, went to the doctor.
Rarely gonna have an excuse. And there was I'm just gonna say it, when I looked at your handbook, I was quite concerned at the number of absences allowed here with a 4-day school week.
When I went and looked on our student portal, it's like, and, Mr. Support talks about how absenteeism is something we should work on. I sent that out to you all. I mean, there's a direct correlation between those that scored low on the smarter or the state assessment and absenteeism. It just stood out to me, and I sent that on to you.
So if a kid misses an appointment, so let's say they schedule doctor appointments in the morning, so they miss a morning study hall or whatever, 4 or 5 weeks, then does that count for a full absence? So even if they miss one class?
No, I think it says someplace in the handbook that I think it's like, or it used to, that if there's like 3 absences, that was counted as a half a day. But, the other thing about the healthcare provider slip, when Dennis was here, if a student had like strep or mono, and like, let's just say Ridge had mono, and his mom took him to the doctor. He had mono Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, took her to the doctor on Thursday, got a doctor's note, and then he was gone for the next 2 weeks. That was all counted as a doctor's slip. So if you're gone for 10 days, but 1 doctor's note, you don't have to get 10 doctor's notes. You just need 1 in consecutive. Or in some cases, like I remember one incident where a student had mono, and she was gone for like 3 or 4 weeks. And then she came back for a week and then was just really sick again after. And, the dentist determined that, the student tried to come back, but came back too soon. And so he counted the previous streak with the doctor's note. So he didn't count all of those as a slip. So
I'm more meaning like if somebody has backups, like one class during the day, that's not going to be considered 5. Because most of us can like make it up rapid back.
But the handbook was written though, if you had a doctor's slip, or if you have you know, like the orthodontics, you know, if you have regular appointments, then those don't count towards the 5-day rule or whatever. Or else the doctor, or, you know, like the parents used to, you know, like, I don't know, when I was ahead races, we would have all the list of all the times we needed to meet. And then we just give that to the office and they would say, okay, here. You know. But
You're talking about 5 days, first semester on a 4-day school week.
I was just thinking if it was like 5 classes.
that for the kid who misses after every football game, he misses a day of school, and every basketball game he misses school. You know, they come home late at 10 o'clock and, oh, it's too late. We need to go in early. I need to go in later. So
I'd like to teach our kids some responsibility. So if I'm gonna come home late and take that time off the next day, then that means I can't be gone Brandon every day that I'd like to be gone too later in the spring. So let's teach them some responsibility. If you want to, you know, natural consequences are wonderful things. I'm a believer in natural consequences. So I want to teach those kids, you can take this time, but that means less when it's those kind of things.
but the attendance has not been enforced. And so that's why if we have this the way it was, I thought it was good the way it was. We just didn't enforce it as a district. So
I just was curious, change that number or if it just added that?
it used to be 6-12 for the year. And then
Now that's just junior, senior privileges. There was something in here I read where I think I brought up like 3 weeks of school.
You can lose your credit, or you only get a 12 or something, yeah. But we've never,
Realistically, they're not counted as absent. Complete their study hall.
That's the perfect stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Move forward. This is to change, band and choir for, let's see, classes only meet 2 times per week, so this is just to update how we have band and choir. These are the classes. Now most of this came from, Mrs. Sundell to update our class schedule for our class offerings. This is a name update. We put it in, we only had 2 or 3 kids that were interested in signing up for it. So it's better off having it an extracurricular. It was more, it was, you know, it was just hard to get in and to meet the needs of the kids, it was better having it out of school. It'll be there. Yes, yes.
Some extra fun.
Yeah, okay, South Dakota Center for Virtual Education is the updated name. This is to update, post-secondary credits equal 1 high school credit, 2 post-secondary credits equal, 3/4 of a high school credit, 1 post-secondary equals 1/2. Okay, this is something, a new change in the law. No credits. 4 more post-secondary credits equal 1.25 high school credit.
That's what I was like.
Is
yeah,
this right? Okay.
Because before wasn't it 1.5? They received 1.5 credits.
Equal 1 credit. 2 post-secondary credits equal.
Is this based on, Patty? I know there was something that went to the state school board. Well, the state school board was ruling on or making some decisions, and I'm not sure exactly the decisions they made, but it was dealing with this, I thought.
I don't think they made the change though, did they? I don't remember seeing anything.
I'm
that
not
changed.
Well, I better check with Mrs. Sundell. That's why I was reading it, Joel.
She talked about,
Well, no, what it's saying is you've got, so a college class for me, I take my history class, it's 3 credits. Normally we get a half a credit of high school because it's just 1 semester. Where now that 1 semester is going to count for a credit of high school. That's the way
That's the way it's supposed
that's the way it's written.
One class equals a full high school.
So
if
I can get a
took-
full credit for 1 semester when I take a dual credit.
So you take, US history.
Yes. Yes, it's a
and
3
one
credit.
Center, 1 credit or college credit class will equal the whole year credit for high school.
Yes, yes.
So
I
if
am,
it's worth 3 in college, it's worth.
That's what-
1 for you guys.
that's what I need to look into and, yeah.
I'm
because-
sure that's what she said, but yes, you're reading that correct now.
Okay, I got it marked. I'll go through and I'll send out, when I meet up with Mrs. Sundahl.
Most of our classes, I think, are the 3 credits. So there'll be 1, you'll get a year's worth in 1 semester.
That's how it should be. I will meet with Mrs. Sundahl on that. Okay, and then this reflects, some changes in our history class. We have some now that are a half credit geography and world history. That's just an update in our offering. This is updated to be in alignment with the high school, middle school band choir. This one, if a student fails to pass 4 classes in the semester by state law, they are not eligible for the following semester. And that must be, South Dakota High School activities.
At all, period.
Yeah, they need to pass 4 they need to pass 4 classes, and this is because we went from a, 8-period schedule to a 7. That's why this is. 5 out of 8, now it's 4 out of 7. So it's not South Dakota High School activity success.
But if they fail 1 class, they're not eligible.
Correct.
And if they're getting a failing, I don't know if that changed, but if they're getting a failing grade at midterm, they're out until they get that grade up. Is that how it's still written?
We didn't change that.
Okay.
Okay, and there's just a date of change. And this is an update from, the county nurse of what they're offering, their, additional offerings. And you asked that the form be available at the Wall District office, or, you want it emailed out, and I talked to Heidi, and she still would like it that you request the document. We can make it available at the office to pick up if you do not want your child in it.
Yeah, and I still think that that should be something on the school. We as a school district should be required to send that information out to parents.
Okay, but the concern still is they have parents that sign it. They want their child to have the services, but the parent signed it by mistake. That is the biggest problem.
So we just got rid of the blind part on it, right?
No, it used to be you would get all your packets and you sign, okay? The problem was that, you might want your student to be checked for scoliosis. You sign it saying no. This is a protective measure to ensure the health of your child, so.
I have a hard time believing these parents are that unintellectual that they can't read that.
They do, every year, every year.
When I worked in the office, like they sign everywhere there's availability to sign on there.
there's probably a dozen or more that signed. This is, I don't know what to tell you other than I just want my kids to be safe and healthy. And if there's a problem or a mistake that's interfering with that, I hope we do the best measures possible to take care of our kids.
That's
That's all
why
I
I say just email it out, say if you do not want your child, write in the email, you do not want your child to have any of these, please print this out or contact the office, sign and date it. I still think there should be an email and a notification to you. What? No, it doesn't need to be in the time.
I also know that there's any emails that come.
Right, and if they don't want to read it, then that's on them again too, but at least you're putting it to the parent saying, hey, don't want it.
Student that have those readings, contact you.
That there is, and when I talked to Heidi Burns, there is parents that will, she has a wonderful working relationship with our parents. And sometimes a parent might call and said, hey, you don't need to check my kid's eyesight. I'm taking them to the eye doctor next week. Okay, so she has a good communication. What this is saying, if you want to opt your child out, here's the phone number. And go from there. The mistake is people signing it when yeah, that's right here. Heidi Burns. There's your phone number. It's in there. Okay. Now there are parents that are actually more concerned of involving the school in this, that they will more likely contact her directly. And that's where we put the or, right? Yeah.
Letters.
There are a lot of people who sign, I want my child checked, but don't tell the school.
Yeah.
That's what I see mostly.
So you want me to highlight that?
Get huge, fill up a whole page.
All right. Oh, that.
You missed that.
Okay, I'm gonna get a little, how about, I like it when it's all on one line. That's fine. Okay.
Like Hope says, they just sign like, when they come in and sign for computers, they sign everything.
Usually they don't want insurance, they have their own insurance, they want the school insurance, they will, yeah, I mean, they decide. Yeah. Okay, so that's all I got for the second reading. We'll have a final next month. I will clarify with Kelly on that one. Thank you.
Approve open enrollment 2024-1.
This student's coming in.
So.
No, it's in our policy that we let them know. Yep, there's a piece in there where I send them a copy. Now, when they're leaving, the parent guardian just, request, we just get a record request from the other school and we send the records.
The incoming school has to request the records from the other school, and that's how they know.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
I mean, sorry. Make a motion to approve our open enrollment for 2024.
All those in favor? All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Number 20.
Can we come to school?
Okay. let's see here, South Dakota High School Activities Association ballot. This is for District 1 representative. The position is vacated by Mike Talley of Rapid City School District. The Division 1 representative, maybe a principal or assistant principal from any South Dakota Activities member school with a 21-22 ADA. So these are school administrators. All member schools have an opportunity to vote. The person is elected to serve a 2-year term on the South Dakota High School Activities Board of Directors and is unable to run for re-election. Member schools in Division 1 include Rapid City Central, South Dakota, or Sioux Falls, Washington, Sioux Falls, Lincoln, Sioux Falls, Jefferson, Rapid City, Stevens, Sioux Falls, Roosevelt, and Harrisburg. Okay. So this is big school administrators. First one is Dan Conrad from Sioux Falls Jefferson High School. The second one is Krista Inman, Rapid City Stevens High School, and the third one is Ryan Roller from the Harrisburg High School. And the recommendation from Mr. Martin is Krista Inman, Rapid City Stevens High School.
That is. What school?
She's Rapid City Stevens High School. So you're making a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion to,
Krista Inman.
appoint Christie Inman.
Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passed.
Okay, the second one. This is a runoff election ballot. So we have 2 individuals, and this is for the Division 3 representative, secondary principal. The school districts in the Division 3 are the T area, Todd County, Lakota Tech, Belfouche, Dakota Valley, West Central, Vermillion, Sioux Falls, Christian, Lennox, Addison, Triangle, Little Room, Millbank, Simpson, Canton, Preston, Del Rapids, Chamberlain, Tri Valley, Pine Ridge, Deerster, Hudson, Hamlin, Lee Davis, London, Christian, Elkhorn, Jefferson, Mobridge, Pollock, Wagner, Sea Valley, St. Francis, Winter, Red Cloud, St. Thomas More, McLaughlin, Groton, Baltimore, Pool, Redstone. Okay, so here's the 2 candidates. Adam Shaw from Madison High School and Jeff Sheehaw from Hamlin High School. And Mr. Martin is recommending Jeff Sheehaw from Hamlin High School. Jeff Sheehaw?
Second.
Discussion, all those in favor, say aye. Those opposed, same sign.
Okay, prior to the last regular or the June regular board meeting, I sent you the handbooks for the elementary handbook and the Title I, middle school handbook and the elementary Title I handbook. Everything pretty much stays the same in all of them, except I'm changing dates to correspond with this upcoming school year. The attendance will make it comparable with whatever was happening with the high school tonight. I'll change the lunch and breakfast prices. I've got a couple of things that the staff wanted to talk about or make changes about the playground. They want to find a place to play football and soccer instead of on the blacktop. They think they want to play in the grass, so kids aren't getting hit by the ball. And then it'll also update the health information on what we talked about today too. Those are the things that I will update. But everything, a lot of the other stuff stays the same. Does anybody have questions on any of the handbooks? Okay, the summer's schedule for summer schools, was completed today. The letters went home. I sent them an email or home with the kids who were in loss. I also put them in the mail. And if anybody asks, it does not start until Tuesday next week. We had a lot of people come on Monday last time. So I just wrote Tuesday, July 18th. I highlighted it in yellow, put it in bold black, hopefully.
Need 20 fonts.
And the summer's going well. We're starting to get all of our orders in. I see Jennifer's gonna have a lot of boxes to unpack in there, and teachers are slowly making their way in to work in the classrooms. That's all I have. Do you guys have any questions?
I'm Sally Krauser, and I'm excited to be here. And I haven't really officially started yet. But a couple things I do know, I'm gonna be working off and on until August. I still am finishing reading trainings. I've had a summer packed with reading trainings all over the state this year. And those will finish up at the very end, very beginning of August, and I'll be in here full time. I know Chuck and I, and maybe some of you are going to joint convention in Sioux Falls. So that's the 3rd and 4th of August. And then I plan to hit the ground running. I am a person that likes to back what I say, that handbook is an important piece to me. And so I appreciate your detail in that. And it's going to be a good year.
Much. All I would like to do is set a budget committee meeting. I can email you or text you guys options, date options. Is there anything that does not work for sure in towards the end of this month and I guess all of August? There's no dates that are like completely off from it. That's up to you guys. Okay. Okay. So just choose some dates and shoot them out to you guys. Okay. That's all I have.
Let's see here. First thing I have is, the NAPIS convention. I emailed you out 17th through the 19th. We'll fly out on the 16th and come back on the 20th. I started shopping for plane tickets. The registration is open. I will need to make motel rooms. Any interest in going? September. September 17th through the 19th. We'll be leaving on the 16th and the 20th. I think it's important to have a board member there. Up to you guys. I will be attending. Yep. Okay.
You went last year.
Hope did. I will be there so much. Otherwise, I mean, you let me know, or,
Yeah. We should go home.
well, you know, that probably following the plane tickets, you know, it's pretty interesting following plane flights, but hotel room, they fill up too. So this will be the gala. This is the 50-year anniversary of NAPIS, Impact 8. So I'm not sure how quickly it'll fill up. So the sooner the better. It is a great experience. You do learn a lot about impact aid. We also attend our PLISA meeting, which Carolyn attended with me in Colorado Springs. It's very important that we sit there, in those meetings, because of our grandfather. Okay, so let me know as soon as you can. Also the joint convention, Mr. Sikora and Dr. Carlser will be going. Any last minute calls for that? I will be gone that first week in August, for family. That one's in Sioux Falls. The early registration is over, but you can still register though. It is a very interesting conference when it comes to especially school government.
Good place to make connections with other board members. Superintendents.
Third and fourth.
Go down the second. Come home the fourth.
Yes. I need to register for it, but you can't go for it. That's fine. Well, usually, what do we leave on Wednesday and come back on Friday? Let me know. Otherwise, Mr. Mr. Sikora and Dr. Crowther will. Okay, the other item that I have, we're doing an update, you'll see on our scoreboard, Byron Crown's picture is going to go up there. Right now, it just says memory of Byron Crown. His parents would like to put this picture up there with, the rest of his family members, so. Yep. So, Chris said is working with him on that. We hope to have our new lawnmower here by the end of July. We're still working on that, but pretty excited to see that. We've been making it by with our old one. Hopefully we continue to the new one rolls in. Dr. Bauman from Western Dakota Technical College will be meeting. If those of you that are on the Career Development Committee would like to join us on August 10th, 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. 2 to 3 p.m. on the 10th of August, that would be great. 2 o'clock. 2 to 3. That was the latest I could get that day. And it just got issued today. We're set up for USF grad credit for our teachers to take on integration of social studies standards. So the work they do, they can receive grad credit for it. Not just for the law school. So that's all I have, unless you have any other comments.
Anybody got anything other? Oops. 6.5.
Okay. Make a motion that we enter executive session discussing personnel. Issues. 25-3.
Was there another cohort ready to go to that letters training? I visited with you about it.
Letters know that I sent you guys an email.
Yeah.
And Ames Pathways is very similar to letters, so that's what they chose to go with. So that's all free.
Okay.
And that's what they're using instead of letters. That's what the state's doing.
The state's doing that instead of a letters training.
Yeah. They researched Mississippi went to Ames, North Dakota went to Ames. They're not doing letters anymore. My letters training was great. What I started with Ames, I started my own administrative one.
Yep.
And it looks like the
content is real similar to the letters training. It's just not as long.
It's not the 2 year.
It's not a 2 year program. So that's all I can say about it right now. I can't tell you how.
Okay.
But I know.
It is hospital. Okay.
That's beyond my recommendation.
Okay, thank you.
We shut off.
We still-
Next